안녕하세요. We're going to learn how to express a couple of English prepositions in Korean and learn one of the sound changing rules in this lesson. Let's start. Let's learn how to express the English preposition for in this sentence. I'll pray for my father. The verb pray in Korean is 기도하다. It doesn't necessarily have to mean something religious, since Korea is not a country where one religion is dominant. Approximately 50% of the population in Korea don't have a religion, as far as I know. I brought up this English sentence to explain about the compound expression that I'm going to introduce now. Let's take a look at the for my father part. What does that mean in English? You pray for your father, for the benefit of him. You want to wish him for the best or for the worst, depending on your personal situation. Because you care about him or care for him. Or to send him to hell because that's your main target, goal, or purpose. You can use this compound expression 을 위해서 to express the English preposition for here. Of course, the particle 을 is used where the last letter of the noun has a final consonant. Again, the compound expression 을 위해서 can be used to indicate someone that you do something for the benefit of that person because you care about or care for that person, or because it is your main target, goal, or purpose. So I'll never say this compound expression can be used to mean English preposition for in any situations. Nope. 을 위해서 has its own particular usage that I just explained. Yes, 을 is an object particle, thus only a noun can come before this compound expression. And the last 서 sound can be omitted. The 위해서 part is from a verb 위하다, which basically means care about or care for. And the same verb will be used when you learn how to express in order to later. So it makes better sense now, right? Anyway, this compound expression would not be very useful if you don't often say you're doing something for someone or you're doing something for a certain target, goal, or purpose. 저는, or 제가. For my father. Father can be 아버지. It can be 아빠 too, which sounds more like dad. You're talking about your own father, hence you don't have to say my, 제. For father. 아버지를 위해서 will pray. If you want to express that it's your intention or will, you use 을 거예요. 기도할 거예요. If you want to express your determination or if you want to express you promise to do this, you use 을게요. 기도할게요. 제가 아버지를 위해서 기도할 거예요. I'll pray for my father. 제가 아버지를 위해서 기도할게요. I promise I'll pray for my father. Or I promise I'll pray for you, father. Okay? As I already said, you can get rid of the 서 sound at the end of 을을 위해서 제가 아버지를 위해 기도할 거예요. Or 제가 아버지를 위해 기도할게요. Next example. I'll sing for my boyfriend. You'll sing to encourage your boyfriend. Or whatever the reason is, you want to sing because you care about him. You can use the compound expression 을 위해서 for the preposition for. Imagine this situation. You have joined a singing contest, such as the X Factor or something similar. Sorry, I don't know much about singing contests. To earn the prize of $100,000 because your boyfriend is sick. You need money for his surgical operation. The host asks you, why did you join this competition? And you answer, I joined because of this and that, and I'll sing for my boyfriend. Can you picture it? Okay. I, for my boyfriend, will sing. 저는, for my boyfriend, Where you talk about your own boyfriend, you don't need to say my. For boyfriend. 남자친구를 위해서. Will sing. The base form of the verb sing in Korean is 노래하다. The stem is 노래하. So either 노래할 거예요 or 노래할게요. 저는 남자친구를 위해서 노래할 거예요. 저는 남자친구를 위해서 노래할게요. That woman lied about her age. That woman about her age lied. We're going to learn how to express the English preposition about on this page. That woman. Let's say we're talking about a woman who's not here, but the listener or the second person knows who we're talking about. Which determiner would you use? Yes, that woman, 그 여자. Let's use the subject particle, 그 여자가. If you want to sound more polite to the third person, that woman, you can add 분 sound. 그 여자분, 그 여자분이. Yes, 그 여자분 sounds definitely more polite than just 그 여자. We tend to try to sound polite to the third person who is not even here, where we think the second person personally knows this third person. Or to show that you are even polite to someone who cannot hear you. It might make you look better. Do you want to ask why the subject particle 이가 is used here instead of the topic particle 는? I just don't think I would need to express the nuance of if I talk about her or comparing her to someone else in a possible situation in my head. If you cannot decide, just get rid of the subject particle 이가 as well. No problem in spoken Korean. About her age. Age is 나이 in Korean. You don't need to express the possessive her here, mainly because the subject is that woman. The listener already knows you're talking about her age, not someone else's age. But if you really want to express the her part, you can use 본인 that you learned in lesson 4 part 7 probably. 본인 indicates a person who is already mentioned in the same sentence. Her age, 본인 나이. But 본인 can still be omitted. About her age. You can use the compound expression 에 대해서 for the about part. 본인 나이에 대해서. The 서 sound at the end can also be omitted. So 본인 나이에 대해 is correct as well. Lied. The base form of the verb lie is 거짓말하다 in Korean. 거짓말 itself is a noun which means a lie. But the stem is still 거짓말하. It's in the past tense, thus 거짓말했어요. 그 여자가 or 그 여자분이 본인 나이에 대해서 거짓말했어요. Or 본인 나이에 대해 거짓말했어요. This compound expression 에 대해서 is a good translation of the English preposition about in this sentence, but that does not mean this can be used for any about. Please remember that. The 에 sound is a particle, hence you need to put a noun or a noun form such as a gerund in front of it. Let's see the next example. That person lied about his age to me. To me is added this time. That person, to me, about his age, lied. That person, let's say this person is not here, but the listener knows who you're referring to. Then you use the 그 sound again. That person, 그 사람. With the subject particle, 그 사람이. If you want to sound more polite, 그 분이. You don't say 그 사람 분이 because 분 is the higher respect form of the noun 사람. They're the same things. Thus you just say 그 분이. Let's learn more about the higher respect forms in lesson 5. To me sounds familiar, doesn't it? I gave a gift to my friend. Lesson 4, part 6. Do you remember? You used the particle 한테 or 에게 to indicate the receiver of something. And this particle can only be used for living things. So to me, 저한테 or 저에게. 한테 is used more commonly in spoken Korean. 저한테. About his age. 나이에 대해서. But if you want to express the possessive his as well, you can use the same 본인 in front of 나이. 본인 나이에 대해서. You can omit the 서 sound. 본인 나이에 대해. lied. 거짓말했어요. 그 사람이 or 그분이 저한테 to me 본인 나이에 대해서 거짓말했어요. Okay? You can use the same compound expression 에 대해서 for English talk about, explain about, describe about, etc. Maybe even for story about. I guess it would be relatively easier for you to guess the exact usage of this compound expression. I received a text message from my friend. Let's learn how to express this English preposition from in this sentence. Not any from, but this particular from. The word order is going to be more like I, from my friend, a text message, received. Do you remember the particle you learned in lesson 4 part 6, which was used to indicate the receiver of something in sentences like I sent an email to my friend? What was the particle you could use to express the preposition to in that sentence? Yes, 한테 or 에게. These two particles can only be used for living things, including humans, and 한테 is more commonly used in spoken Korean. Do you remember? You use something very similar when you express from in this sentence. It's 한테서 and 에게서. There's one more option you can use. 으로부터, 로부터. But 으로부터, 로부터 can sound very robotic and literary. Anyway, let's complete the sentence first and talk more about each one of these. I, 저는. Did I tell you the subject I can be omitted in spoken Korean all the time? Because it is understood? Yes, it can be. Let's not mention the subject I this time. From my friend. We didn't even say I, so you don't need to say my either. It is also understood. From friend, 친구한테서 or 친구에게서. I definitely prefer 친구한테서. A text message. Text can be 문자 in Korean. It's pronounced 문자 with a no air j sound rather than 문자. It's not very important sound changing rule, but I'll tell you why in the next page. Message is just 메시지. Text message, 문자 메시지. It can just be 문자, as you say text rather than text message in English as well. Of course, nowadays people don't really use 문자 메시지, but whatever. It's an object of the verb received, so you can add the object particle 를, but it can also be omitted as you know. Received. The base form of the verb to receive is 받다. The stem is 받. It's in the past tense, so 받았어요. I, omitted. From friend, 친구한테서. A text message, 문자 메시지, received, 받았어요. 친구한테서 문자 메시지 받았어요. Or 친구한테서 문자 받았어요. Or 친구에게서 문자 받았어요. Wait a minute. As you see, the last 서 sound of 한테서 and 에게서 is in brackets. What does that mean usually? Yes, it means it can be omitted. Then it's the same 한테 and 에게 that you used to express to someone. How come it can express from as well? To and from are supposed to be exactly opposite. Amazingly, the particle 한테 and 에게 change its usage based on the verb used in the sentence. So, 친구한테 문자 받았어요 is correct too. Interesting, isn't it? Next, let's use 으로부터 로부터 this time. 으로부터 is used where there is a final consonant in the form block. So needless to say, we use 로부터 for 친구. 친구로부터. Yep, this sounds perfectly correct, but I wouldn't use it much unless I want to sound a bit funny by making it sound formal and literary. 으로부터 로부터 can be used for anything, living things and non-living things. You can also use the verb come, 오다, to make the same sentence. Let's see the Korean sentence right away. 친구한테서 문자가 왔어요. Do you understand what it means? 친구한테 문자가 왔어요. What does that mean? Why is the subject particle 가 used here instead of the object particle? Yeah, because it is not an object at all, but it is the subject. A text message came, not you received the text message. Got it? Next sentence. Let's see the Korean sentence first again. 친구한테서 전화가 왔어요. What is 전화? It's a phone or a phone call. From friend, a phone call came. Now you know what it means. Next sentence. Korean sentence again. 회사로부터 이메일이 왔어요. 회사 means a company. 이메일 is just email. I use the particle 으로부터 로부터 because 회사 is not a living thing. This sentence sounds fine, but I still don't like this particle 으로부터 로부터. I would rather use the particle 에서. 회사에서 이메일이 왔어요. The particle 에서 has a few usages. 에서, of course, can be used to indicate the place where the action takes place, and it can also be used to indicate the starting point or origin. I would always use 에서 rather than 으로부터 로부터 in spoken Korean. Now, let's learn why 문자 is pronounced 문자 in Korean, where there's a final n or l consonant in the formal block. The sound of the initial d or j consonant in the letter block changes to the double no air consonant t or j. That's why 문자 is pronounced 문자. 글자 means a letter, one individual letter. It is written 글자, but is pronounced 글자. 걸작 means a masterpiece. It is written 걸작, but is pronounced 걸작. There are exceptions. This rule is not applied where the letter block is a particle, or where the word is a proper noun, such as the name of a person, a place, or an organization. That's it. This is the end of Lesson 4 Part 8. We'll be able to finish Lesson 4 in 2 or 3 more videos. Let's learn how to express I have something and learn about negative sentences in Korean in the next videos. Okay? See you in the next video then. 안녕히 계세요.